What's going on, guys? It's Masculine1 and welcome to the very first episode of Head2Head for Battlefield Hardline. This is the series in which you guys viewers pick two very similar weapons for me to compare and pick which weapon is the better one of the two. So for today's episode, I would start off by comparing the M416 to the M16A3 since these two weapons are quite similar and I think they have actually given us quite a lot to talk about. Now, these assault rifles have to be among the most versatile weapons in the game. No matter where you use them, they always seem to perform better than most weapons. This could potentially be one of the reasons as to why they are quite popular with players of different skill levels. But before I continue talking a bit more about the weapons, let's take a look at their stats to see what the differences really are between these two weapons. So as you can see, the M416 and M16A3 both do a maximum damage of 28, a minimum damage of 18 with their drop off starting at 40 meters and then ending at 60 meters. Where we do start to see a few differences is with their rate of fire. The M416 has a rate of fire of 850 rounds per minute while the M16A3 has a slightly lower rate of fire of 800 rounds per minute. The muzzle velocity on the M416 is 600 meters per second, while on the M16A3 it's slightly higher, coming in at 650 meters per second. They both have a magazine size of 31 rounds, with the reload times on the M416 being 2.6 seconds when fully empty and 2.21 seconds with one bullet left in the chamber. As for the M16, it reloads in 2.72 seconds when fully empty and 2.38 seconds with one bullet left in the chamber. As for the recoil patterns, the M416 is pulling up by 0.525, pulling to the left by 0.05, and pulling to the right by 0.2. As for the M16, it's pulling up by 0.5, pulling to the left by 0.05, and pulling to the right by 0.225. So as you could see from the stats of both weapons, they are pretty much identical to each other with the exception of a few slight differences here and there. To begin with, the M416 feels like it's meant more for close to medium ranges, having its rate of fire increase from 750 rounds per minute from the previous Battlefield games to what is now 850 rounds per minute. Its rate of fire and high damage definitely serve their purpose at these ranges, allowing you to drop your enemies as soon as you see them. The weapon itself is decent when it comes to recoil. The horizontal kick isn't too bad and the vertical recoil is slightly worse than the M16, but you'll probably not notice this once you have a decent array of attachments available. Having that said though, the M16 on the other hand just feels like it should be better for those medium to long range kills since it does have a lower rate of fire and lower recoil, which means it should be easier to control. But in reality, that isn't the case. The fact that it has a high first shot recoil just makes it feel as if it had more recoil than the M416, and you can definitely see this when going for those medium to long range targets. Burst firing is a lot more challenging and could potentially hinder you on a one-on-one gunfight if the distance between yourself and your enemy is substantial. The M16 performs best in close to medium ranges as well. Compared to the M416, it doesn't perform worse, but rather about the same. Never did I find myself to be at a complete disadvantage when using the M16. About the only thing would be the reload times, in which the M416 happens to reload a tiny bit faster than the M16, but the difference is very minimal. When it comes to things both weapons offered, it would be in their muzzle velocities. Both weapons do offer a really great velocity, so whenever you need to take down a moving target, all you will have to do is aim and shoot without worrying about compensating for either weapon. So like I mentioned before, there's not a time where either of these weapons just completely dominates the other, because both of these weapons are just really good assault rifles, but I think the M416 definitely takes the prize for me. But let me know guys, which one of these weapons do you prefer the most? Also, don't forget to leave leave 2 weapons in the comment section below that you would like to see go head to head for next week's episode. If you enjoyed this first episode, don't forget to leave a rating for the video, as it always helps out the video and the channel a lot. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe for weekly Battlefield videos. And as always, this is Fast1, and see you in the next video.